tell me again, Ms. Gnome, how do you say that you can't pick and choose, yet you picked and choose for Caroline Leavitt's family member? Left that one out there, Ayo?
Discretion as the secretary, you can issue parole, you can do all kinds of things, but
yeah, she can follow the law, which includes, again, as he said, you can do humanitarian parole. You can do other options. You don't have to deport every single person who did something that might have been, somewhat bad. And in the grand scheme of things, $80 of bad check writing is not going after the so-called worst of the worst, as they said they would go after. It's not going after the bad hombres, the murderers, the pedophiles, the sex traffickers, the rapists, the people who are doing the actual real harm. Look, if this administration was actually only going after the people who are murderers and rapists and sex traffickers and, bringing in fentanyl and catching them and whatever, fine. I'm not going to argue about that. I'm not going to fight them about that. But they're using those bad people as an excuse to go after everybody. It's like dropping a nuke on a city simply because it has one bad person in it. I mean, I guess, it's the reverse of what Sodom and Gomorrah with the story of Lot from the Bible. In that story, you had a situation where, Lot wanted to save the people and God would save the city if they could find one good person. All you had to do is find one good person, and they couldn't do that, so the city was gone. In this case, you have to find one. If they find one bad person, they're just going to nuke everybody else. They're going to destroy the entire city just for one bad person. It's morally reprehensible.
Choosing not to. Will you commit, again, to just reviewing Donna's case and reuniting this combat veteran with his beloved wife, who also loves this country?
I will review the case.
Now, Madam Secretary,
I don't believe you.
Secretary, you've already heard the story of Lance Corporal Alejandro Barranco, the United States Marine veteran who is behind you, who also has two brothers who are United States Marines. Will you thank Lance Corporal Barranco for his service?
Thank you for your service.
His father, Narcisco Barranco, is a landscaper in California who has lived peacefully in our country for 30 years and has no criminal record. Last spring...
Of course, here's where the conservatives be like, well, of course he has a record because he's here illegally, blah, 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 blah. But again, he's not the worst of the worst. He's not one of those bad hombres. He's not a rapist, a murderer. He's not a child molester. He's not a pedophile. He's not any... He's a peaceful citizen who helped to create 3 men who served in the military. I'm assuming it's all men. I don't know. Maybe I think he said brothers, so I think it's all 3 men. But anyway, yeah. Not the worst of the worst.
While he was mowing the lawn at an IHOP, ICE agents tackled him in the street and imprisoned him for weeks. A peaceful, hard-working man who raised 3 sons to be United States Marines. We need men of that character in this country. Again, as Secretary, you have broad discretion. Will you consider Lance Corporal Barranco's father for parole in place to stay in our country, owing to the fact that he has contributed to our country by raising 3 United States Marines?
This is an opportunity to remind everybody that every person that's in this country illegally has an opportunity to voluntarily go home and come back.
And then why would you believe that they would let you come back? They can say all they want till they're blue in the face that you have the ability to self-deport and then come back. You have that opportunity to do so. I don't believe that will happen. And anybody who believes that this administration will follow through on that is a fucking idiot. Period.
The right way.
He raised 3 United States Marines.
We will facilitate that.
He has been living here peacefully, doing his job for 30 years.
And why should you have to go through all those steps? He's not a bad person. He's been here for forever. Long enough to have 3 sons who are now, combat veterans who are now served in the military. I don't know if they'll serve sea combat, but whatever. And they're just so heartless. They're just so heartless, thoughtless. Just continue to support these people just shows that you're a deplorable person. Hillary Clinton was wrong. It's at least she's wrong now. It's not half anymore. It's more than half of the people who support this president who are in that basket of deplorables. If you stop supporting him because of these terrible actions, then by all means, you're not in that group. If you actively stand up and say, look, I do not support these actions of this president, and I'm going to actively work to try and, protest and let them know that even though I might have voted for him in the past, that they do not have my support on this. Fine, do that. But as I've said before, and I'll continue to say over and over and over again, I don't want to hear jack squat about anybody who is here in violation of our border policy, as this administration ignores the requirement by the Supreme Court to give everybody who is held in detainment and to be potentially deported the ability to file a writ of habeas corpus. They're not following that law. They stripped away 500,000 people here under humanitarian parole. They stripped that right away to stay here in this country, not because they did anything wrong, but because they didn't like that Biden is the one that gave the humanitarian parole. They took that away. So they say come here legally. Those people came here legally because they were legally invited by this president to do so. And guess what? Now they're screwed.